Hi guys, it's Danica Christin, and in this video I'm going to give you my top tips and tricks about trekking in Nepal. First of all, it's really important to bring some well-worn in trekking shoes or even boots. I only had trekking shoes and that was good enough for me, but I know some people, they really want the extra ankle support, and for those people boots are the better option. Don't go up there in your runners, so take some proper hiking shoes, but make sure they're properly worn in, because the last thing you want is feet full of blisters on a 2-week trek. If you're trekking on your own, I highly recommend getting a porter guide. You can hire one locally or down in Kathmandu for about $18 a day. And he will be able to speak some basic English and he will show you the way and also carry your backpack, which is a huge help in Nepal, in the mountains with the high altitude and all that. I remember on some of the treks I did, I had a porter guide and I met people who didn't, and I'm a very slow hiker. Like when I go hiking in the Alps, like I look like I'm about to die and fall off the side of the mountain, and people ask me all the time if I'm okay. That's how slow I am. But in Nepal, when I had a porter guide and other people didn't, I was just flying past everyone, which is unknown to me. So get a porter guide if you're trekking on your own. If it's 2 people or a bit of a bigger group, you can get one guide and then, you know, one porter each for about 2 people. You don't need to bring your own sleeping bag and down jacket. You can if you have them, but there's no reason to buy them really, because you can rent them very cheaply down in Kathmandu, Pokhara, and they only cost about $1 per day each, so that's fairly inexpensive. One thing I can really recommend is getting some proper trekking poles. You can get them in Kathmandu, you can just rent them there, or if you already have them from home, just bring them because they'll normally be better quality. Don't forget to bring lots of cash, and bring more than you'll ever think you're gonna need, because there's no ATMs on the treks. So just make sure you bring all the cash you're gonna need on the trek to cover food, accommodation, maybe some snacks, and don't forget to take a substantial tip for your guide and your porters. I think the rule of thumb is, I think, 1 day's salary per week of trekking. So if you do a 2-week trek, set aside 2 days of their salary as their tip. Take enough different types of clothing. So bring a singlet, a t-shirt, or probably several, some long sleeve shirt, a fleece jacket, a raincoat and a down jacket, because you really want to layer up in the evenings when it gets cold. But also there's going to be warmer climate, so at the beginning of each trail you're going to start at quite a low altitude still, 1,000 or 2,000 meters, and it will be quite warm during the day, so you only want to be wearing a t-shirt, otherwise it gets too hot. But you definitely need the extra clothing as well for the high altitude and the cold nights. Also keep in mind that there will be no laundry facilities along the treks. So take clothes that don't tend to smell too much, because let's be honest, you can't wash really, and there's not like showers. If you want to have them, they're like $5 each, so nobody really showers. It's good advice to leave the majority of your luggage down in Pokhara or Kathmandu. Your hotel or hostel will normally have a storage room where you can just leave all your stuff, and you'll want to take as little as possible onto the mountain. In case you were wondering, there's no need to bring any camping gear, because there is lodges called tea houses everywhere along the treks. So they have nice rooms where you can sleep, they have beds, they have mattresses, blankets, they have everything like that. But take a sleeping bag, because the blankets, it's normally not enough to keep you warm up there in the cold. So take your sleeping bag, but other than that, it's quite comfortable, so no need to bring any camping gear whatsoever. Also, don't worry about bringing any food. because food is readily available all along the trek. You can only walk for like an hour or two without seeing a restaurant or lodge that provides food, so that's no problem at all. But maybe bring a few snacks, because snacks like, you know, Mars bars and all that, they get quite expensive the higher up you go, so just buy them cheaply down in Kathmandu or Pokhara. That will really serve you. The water on the mountain is not drinkable, so make sure you bring your own purification method with you. Some people bring tablets. What I had was kind of little drops that I just put in my water. I found that to be quite good because it didn't taste as bad as some of the water tastes once you put tablets in it. It only has kind of a slight taste to it, but it's not too bad. You get used to it really easily, very quickly. So I recommend drops over tablets. Internet is surprisingly available along most treks, but it can be quite expensive. It's between $1 and $5 per day. Same for hot showers. They are available kind of in the lower regions of the mountains. In the higher regions, people don't shower anymore, because if you do, you're gonna get sick. But if you want to have a shower, again, it costs between $1 and $5 depending on how high on the mountain you are. The common room, meaning the restaurant in the tea houses you're going to sleep in, is going to be heated, but the bedrooms are not going to be heated, just because it can actually kill you. Because I was told if you heat up a room in that high altitude, somehow the oxygen in the room kind of escapes, and that's kind of how people suffocate in their sleep. So your bedroom won't be heated. So again, the sleeping bag is really, really useful and highly recommended. Be sure to schedule enough days to avoid altitude sickness in the mountains. It tends to happen when people go up too fast, and then they get symptoms because their body is not acclimatized properly. So make sure you give your body enough time. The best season to go hiking in the Everest and the Annapurna regions is October, November. There's a second season between March and May, but the weather is usually not as good. There are other treks in Nepal you can also do, and depending on where they are, there might be a different season, but the main season really is October, November. These are the best months. Be sure you have proper health and evacuation insurance, because let me tell you, evacuations happen all the time. Up near base camp, in the last village you're going to sleep before base camp, there is 4 lodges. And each lodge maybe has, you know, room for, I don't know, 20 to 30 people. So you maybe have like 130 people up there. And the morning after I went to base camp, I started trekking down the mountain again. And you will not believe what I saw. And that one morning, for the 4 lodges up the hill, I saw 8 rescue helicopters coming in to save people from dying from altitude sickness. So be really, really careful with what your insurance is going to cover, because the helicopter is only going to come once your insurance company has paid. Otherwise, they're going to leave you up there. So be really sure you have appropriate insurance. It's so important. If you want to do the Everest Base Camp trek and you're flying in and out of Lukla, so you're flying from Kathmandu to Lukla, and then once you've done the trek back from Lukla, make sure that between your Lukla Kathmandu flight and your flight from Kathmandu to your home country or somewhere else, you have a few days. Because what tends to happen is that if there's fog in Lukla, there's no flights. And flights get cancelled there all the time, and you don't want to miss your expensive international flight. So make sure you schedule a few days where you normally you would go and explore Kathmandu, but in case flights get delayed, you won't miss your flight back home. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video, as I put out new trekking and travel videos every week. And please let me know in the comments if you have any further questions about trekking in Nepal, because I've done several treks there. I've done Everest Base Camp, Annapurna Circuit, Poon Hill, Annapurna Base Camp. I've done them all, so I know quite a bit about them. So please let me know if you've got any questions, and I'm happy to help you out.